All right. How's it going,
Hey, coach.
everybody? I'm excited. How about yourself, sir?
I'm good, man. Yourself? I am wonderful. It's cold out here, but I see you having sunny time, so I have to rebuke you. I have to come up
Man,
against you, pray against you, or something.
hey, don't do that. Don't do that, brother. But I tell you what, man, we're having a summer that we've never had in Texas. It's actually a cool 77, 80 degrees. And yes, that does not happen.
Nice.
Normally it's in the hundreds. So you could actually walk outside and, drink some lemonade and just enjoy yourself because it's huge. Shout out to
Oh,
Roger
lovely.
Macy in the building. How's it going, Roger? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So we got a great, great class today. Coach and I have been talking. We've had a couple of meetings already. And what we love about this show is we want to do a paradigm shift. So let's go ahead and start with our M3 strategy. Please say it with me: mindset, multiplication, and
Education
management, the
management.
M3 strategy. What we're going to be speaking about today, and the topic of the show is always fixing the trading thing, but we want to talk about winning the mental game. Does that make sense? Because there's a winning mentality in this. There's a fear of loss that you deal with. There's so many different things that happen when you trade. And what's crazy is no matter how long you've been trading, you have to kind of keep your ear to this information and stay close and constantly check yourself. So, Coach, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to be pulling up a slide. So I'm going to zoom out. I'll be back. But just talk to the troops a little bit of what you've witnessed and what you've seen as well.
Absolutely. And welcome to Coach Bob as well, multiplication and management. Welcome to Mr. Roger Mackey as well, or Macy, depending on how you pronounce that. But interesting thing that you're saying there, Coach, and I just want to continue that same kind of thought. I think when a lot of us start in trading or in business, we tend to focus on the business, or we tend to focus on the trading as a whole, as it should be. But what often falls by the wayside is our ability to focus on the actual owner of the business or the actual trader as a whole. I think a lot of people would be surprised by the kind of damage they can do in business and in trading as a whole if you only changed your mindset. And yes, I said change because some of us need a mindset change, not just a shift. We actually need to, for lack of a better word, have a mind transplant. We need to decide what are the key qualities that actually will set people like us apart. I remember a while back, I don't know how long ago it was, but I read a book. It said 7 key habits, I think it was called, of millionaires. And the beauty about that is not just that I was speaking about millionaires. The beauty is that you can sort of transplant that kind of concept into anything. What do I mean by that? If you take the idea that something has repeatable patterns and you follow that same pattern, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have the same result. But if you keep doing something over and over and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So, what we need to do is, if we're going to win at the mental game, we need to find what are the winners doing. Do you hear what I said? What are the winners doing? Now, I want to encourage everybody on the stream. If you're listening to the stream for the first time in a long time, or if you're catching it via the replay, I want you guys to start getting connected on the streams because guess what? We are ready for a revamp. We are changing things. We're going to up our game. We're going to go live with you guys on a regular basis, and we're going to be adding value upon value upon value. Some of it's going to be in the space of mindset. Some of it's going to be in the space of multiplication, and some of it is going to be in the space of management. But all of it is going to be for your benefit. So if you guys are excited about that, give me a 7 in the chat. What we are talking about today is winning at the mental game. And if you're ready to win at the mental game, let us know as well. Coach, back to you, sir. Winning at the mental game.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's go ahead and take some notes over here today. We're doing some PowerPoints, but here's what I like about it. We really want to stress the idea. And so, from a mental perspective, you need to hear what we're saying. You need to write some notes. And then, after the class, you need to go over what we're going to be showing you guys. So, let's talk about common mental roadblocks in trading, right? And again, some of you might say, I've heard this before. That's awesome. Hear it again. The first one is fear of losing money. Raise your hands, put a 10 in the chat, 12, 13. How many of us have been guilty? And I'll go first. Man, I got to get this money. Watch this, Bob. I got to be right. I got to get it, man. I've been working too hard at this for it not working for me. Anybody been guilty? Number two, over trading. You do know every time you get into the markets, every time, there's a chance that you can lose. Everybody write this down, please. So what I've seen, and I've been going through many different masterminds, I've seen it myself. let's try to limit 3 trades per day. 3 good trades. Put that in the chat, please. 3 good trades. And then go home. Go do something else. Go outside. Take a walk the dog, skip, jump, throw a frisbee. Do something, but don't overtrade in the market, because I'm going to tell you what's the worst feeling in the world is to be up. You know what I'm talking about. And by the time the day is over, you have lost. You've lost what you've made and then some. And you know what you feel like? A failure with a capital F. You're saying, why me? You're singing a country song, got your nice hat on, got the music playing, and you're just telling a story. So let's talk about some of those roadblocks. Well, here's another one. Lack of confidence. Yeah. Emotional trading, emotional intelligence, right? When we look at emotional trading, there's something in us that wants to be right. Just watch where I'm going with this one. And coach, just co-sign with me, right? Just co-sign. Let's say that I took something from you. Do you know a human reaction is to take it back? So if I
Absolutely.
Come on, man. We used to do this in school. Now, you guys forgive me. I was a good kid, but I had a good time. Spitballs, all that stuff. And so we go out there and just picking on somebody. We'll take the paper from their hand, and you know what they're going to do? Take it back. It's a human response.
Right back.
Right back. There's something that's built in you to get back what's been taken from you. It's revenge trading. Greed. I just got to make this money today. It just has to happen right now. And so what we've learned is that we have to identify these kryptonite rocks in our life, right? We got to see what those rocks look like. Coach, I'll pass to you as we go to the next one.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. If we don't identify, then how do we know what we need to change? And I like what you have on stream here is we need to self-assessment questions. How many of you actually spend time, aside from your strategy, aside from learning the strategy that you want to do, whether that's in business or even in trading, how many of you actually spend time and say to yourself, you know what, let me assess myself. So we spend a lot of time assessing the trade. Now think about what assessing a trade does. Assessing a trade tells you whether or not that trade is high probability or low probability. What if you did a similar action with yourself, which is self-assessment, and decided, you know what, am I in a high probability space right now? Am I in a low probability space right now? For instance, you just got some bad news and you decide, you know what, I think I should be trading now. You just heard something happen in a family or something, and you said, you know what, let me just quickly go get something out of the market. Guess what happens? You are in a low probability trading mental space. What emotions do you experience while trading? This is something that a lot of people overlook. Now, early days, we taught ourselves we need to journal how we feel. It's not just the journal about what the trade did, where you entered. A lot of people are exceptional at that. But what about what a trade makes you feel? Let me make an example. Let's say you find that on a certain asset class, maybe you're trading gold, maybe it's the QQQ, maybe it's NAS. Maybe you find that every time you take a trade there, you feel uncertain, or you feel anxious, or you feel all over the place. If you start to see a pattern in the emotions that you are trading, then now you can adjust for that particular pattern. Maybe it's a lack of confidence on account of not having a solid strategy. Maybe you have a solid strategy, but you don't, your lot size or your contract size or your position size is too big. And so now what you experience is you experience that you're overwhelmed, and this tells you that there's something else a problem. Let me make an example. You don't feel angry for feeling angry, right? You don't feel love just for feeling love. There's an object of your affection. There's an object that causes you to be angry. And this is what we need to identify. So this is what we're trying to do with these streams as well. We're trying to make you a better holistic trader, business person, marketer, whatever you're trying to be. We're trying to make you better overall. We're building the kingdom by building you. Right? Because guess what? The kingdom is you as well. So how do we react to these actual losses? What is our, and Coach just spoke about it now, some of us do revenge trading, right? Immediately after we took a trade, we go into a series of get back, right? I'm going to take revenge on this whole thing. I'm going to make sure I get it all back. And then what happens? The market takes revenge on us. Coach, have you been has the market taken revenge on you before? And let me tell you something, Coach, let me say something on this. The market is way better at taking revenge than us. Let's just be honest.
The market is brutal, brother. Brutal.
I'm going to say something. I don't know if you heard this phrase as I hand back over to you, Coach. You've heard the phrase revenge is sweet, right? You've heard people say
Yes.
revenge is sweet. Let me tell you something. Whoever made that, they are lying. Revenge has only been bitter to me. It's been very bitter, and the market has been enjoying the sweetness thereof and been taking it back from me. But that's why the way we take revenge is by becoming better at the mindset game. That's how we take revenge.
I
Go for
love it.
coach.
I love it. You're saying a lot of gems over here too, man. And we got a lot of slides on there. We're not going to go to each and every one.
Sure.
But what I want to show you guys next, because I want to mix it up a little bit just to keep it fun, is a lot of times people are not respecting trading like a skill. Let me tell you what I mean by it. We're in Olympic season. So I love this stuff. I've been watching Team USA in basketball. I can't wait to track and field. And I just look for us because these athletes are the epitome of discipline. Now, just imagine, right? You're going to do a 100-meter run, but you're practicing, 40 minutes, an hour for something that lasts 10 seconds. Think about what I'm saying. You're in the NBA. You guys have been playing for 20-something years. You've been playing since you were kids. But before the game, guess what you're doing? You're doing some warm-ups. You're getting that J ready. You're getting your feet ready. You're doing it. In baseball, you're getting that shoulder ready. You're getting those gloves caught. Why is it in trading that we just think that we're going to be ice cold and just step into the lane? Ice cold. We haven't gotten our rhythm. We haven't gotten our heartbeat together. We haven't gotten our minds ready. And so I'm just going to do something, and you've heard this plenty of times. This isn't new, not new at all. I'm just going to share the screen, right? And we're going to just do this right here as well, right? Because when we talk about fixing the trading thing, one of the things that we want to see is, are we practicing the trade? So just notice this one. I just created it when I was off the stream, 300,000 account, right? This one, sharpening the skill. And here's the strategy. You guys ready? Write this down, please. 2-hour trade day. Everybody type down the number 2 hours. Coach, I want to look at the charts all day long. Speak for yourself. Don't speak for me. It's summertime. I want to be like a kid, man. I might want to go play kickball today, right? If I could, right? I want to have a good doggone time because I understand trading is just one means of income. That's it. Does everybody understand this? You're called to make an impact. Do you understand that, ladies and gentlemen? This is a kingdom business. We've been trying to get you guys shifted to say, let God use you, walk in purpose, make a difference. But we can't make a difference if we've traded one job to another job. That's not what we're doing right now. We're using the tool of money to do something to help other people get free. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch it. 300,000. This is live. What I love about this is we cannot see the next candles. If you guys want to write down the parameters that we're doing, we have a 300,000 account. We're going to be looking at supply and demand. You guys understand this? We're risking right around 1 to 1.5% per trade. Okay. We'll be doing an average of 4 to 10 contracts. And again, I just want to show you the power of this skill set. Okay. Does everybody understand this? You guys see it? And so just imagine, right? I'm looking at this and I'm wanting to see what the market is going to do. And I want to identify structure. So again, I'm scalping on this one. Does everybody understand this? I'm starting at the 4-hour. And what I first want to do is I want to look at zones. Now, let me just kind of move the screen a little bit because I'm seeing a little bit of the camera. So you guys bear with me. So it might show that, I know this isn't the cleanest copy, but it'll make some sense to you. Okay. All right. Let's check it out. Let's get back to the basics. Is that okay? So, Coach, what am I doing? Just walk me through what I'm doing right now, because I know we got some new people on here. What does this rectangle box represent? Why did I draw that there?
You're identifying an area of supply, and you're identifying where the market has experienced previous resistance or support as well.
Yes, sir. I'm seeing my trading range. Does everybody understand it? I'm seeing my trading range. Watch this. Good practice. 4 hours. Now, again, I'm going to be scalping. The time right now for this one is at 11 o'clock. So we want this thing to kind of play out a little bit. We'll zoom down. I'm going to go to the 1 hour, and I want to find a setup. Does that make sense? I want to find a setup. Now, notice as I'm zooming in, I'm seeing other pockets that we need to pay attention to. And that's why I like to do this stuff live, because we need to practice our skill set so much that we can be confident in what we're seeing. Does that make sense? We got to have some confidence, right? Because if we have confidence, the confidence will help us get into these trades. Are you guys tracking with me? It's going to help me get into the trade. So let's play it out a little bit. What am I seeing so far? We've came into this zone. We have a zone right here, and then we have something called the fair value gap right in here, this white area. Does that make sense? So we're going to go out there and just let it move a little bit. Let me just move it by, let's do this by every 5 minutes, and we'll zoom in. Are you guys tracking? And so if you're paying attention to what I'm doing, you should be seeing this zone that's coming up right here. You should be seeing it. It'd be like, hey, coach, I like that. Does everybody see that? Just put a 3 in the chat, 4 in the chat. We want to show you how we're looking at this because this is identified as a fresh zone. Yes and yes? Fresh zone.
Yes, sir.
What is a fresh zone? It's like fresh Krispy Kreme donuts. The red light is about to come on, right? It's fresh. Those are the best time to get the donuts. Let's keep it moving. Oh, coach, we're missing out on the trade. You know how it is sometimes, right? You see it dropping. You say, oh, my gracious, I'm missing it. What I'm going to do, let's just play this a little bit, right? I'll go ahead and stop it. I'll speed it up just a little bit for the sake of time.
While we at that, I was telling some of the students as well, and I like what you did there, coach, is some of these areas are not just areas to trade from, but they're also areas like that act as magnets on price. So you drew out the zone. I think what is key for people to see based on what you just did, you drew out the zone and price gravitated towards that zone, which means even in the move on the way up, there was opportunity. Some of us wait until the zone is hit, but what about actually using the zone as an actual magnet? It's pulling price towards it. So think about the benefit of this is at times you could say to yourself, man, I don't know if that zone's going to hold, but what I do know is that zone's going to pull price. So let me trade towards that zone as it pulls price. And that was an example of that as well.
I love it, coach. I love it. So look at what I'm doing. We're playing this out. And if I was following my structure, I would want to have a proximal entry. Now, coach, you know I'm a proximal entry guy, right? You know, that's my sweet spot. That's my sweet spot right there. Does everybody see that, right? So the green is when we got in. So here's a question that we have to ask ourselves, right? Because remember, I was telling you the 2-hour trading strategy. I want to be able to make a day's wage, okay? Day's wage. Now, coach, should I do 10 contracts? Should I do 4 contracts? What would be a decent amount that you would say that we at least do on this broadcast?
You know, I'm more conservative than you. I normally do less contracts. So you see where the middle of the road is there. I know you want to do 20. I know you want to put 20 contracts on, coach. I know that's deep.
Coach, I want to do 100 contracts. I want to do 100. So watch this, folks. We're in the trade. I'm going to hit sell. You guys see that? Okay, 5 contracts. Now what I'm going to do is instead of me pressing play, I'm just going to hit the next candle. Remember, we're risking 1.5%. So this is a 300,000 account. Let me be a mathematician and go to my calculator. You guys like this one? Mathematician and go to my calculator. 300,000 times 1.5% equals 4,500. Okay, that is the risk. Let's go. Okay, $75, coach. Come on, we can get some lunch. 0, 375. 1225. Uh-oh. 1,400. Let me just ask everybody. This stuff is live. Well, when I say live, I don't know what the next candle is. The only thing that I'm doing is looking at the structure. I drew it out there. I saw the fresh zone. I have the ability to trade this. Now, let's play this out. Can I just ask everybody, if you're watching this replay, would you be happy closing the computer down if you were up 1,400? And coach, that happened in, what was that?
That was quick. That was quick.
That was quick.
It's a 5-minute chart. That's like 3 candles, right? Or what is that? 5 candles? That's quick.
So let me just ask the chat to see what's going on right quick. So let's just take some stuff off of it. Okay, watch this. I have the ability to lock in some profits. And again, the strategy was less than 2 hours a day, because we should not be making this stuff overly complicated, folks. Now, Bob, I'm going to talk to you, brother. I know you're in California. You're going to have to get up at the crack of dawn. I'm talking about maybe 4:35 when New York is 8. but there's a sweet spot, 0700 New York time. You need to be up, brother. Now, unfortunately, that's about 4 in the morning, man. So I know you probably want to hit that gym real good. Man, go ahead and hit them charts real good, and then you got all day to do the gym. All day. So watch this. I'm going to go out there and close 50% of my position because I like liking in profits. Does that make sense? So watch this, folks. We're already up $700. Somebody go ahead and say amen. Let's keep it going. Look at that. Now, you know what I like about this one is we locked in profits. Look at this wick.
Yes.
We still could get out. Let's play it all the way out. We're out of there.
Yeah.
So guess
That's
what
what's
happened
important to take those profits.
Yes. Or you could have been done and then you're out for the whole trade. Does everybody see what I'm saying? And here's what's great about this. This stuff happens. This stuff happens. Come on, folks. Am I lying? This stuff happens. So the reason that I'm showing this to you guys is, of course, we wanted that candle to fall more. Of course we did. Let me just tell you what I've seen from all the thousands of trades. There's times that I make money so quick it doesn't even make sense. And there's also times that I have to check greed, because if I don't check greed, this happens. So it's not over for the day, but we got to look at what's going on. So we're stopped out, right? And the good thing is we got stopped out on a risk that we were willing to take. So what do, right? Let's go ahead and move this, and let's go to the next day open, right? We just want to go to a whole different trade sector. Does everybody understand this? So I want to clear everything that we've done, right? I've drawn that out the way. Let me just close that because it's still running. And if you guys see what we're doing, we're practicing. Let me just close this off all the way. Okay, beautiful. So as we look at this, we're at a 5-minute chart. Watch what I can see just on this across the board. And hopefully this is helping somebody. Bob, I can see this is an area that we needed to pay attention to. And I can absolutely see that this area right above here was an area that we need to pay attention to. That's on the 5-minute. Now, I want to zoom out because the reason that I zoom out is I need to have perspective the whole time. Does everybody understand this? I need to have perspective. I don't want to get caught up in what I'm seeing immediately. I want to see overall what's going on. And so what I see overall that's going on, watch this. Notice that they have a 3-candle formation, 1, 2, 3. And right in the middle of that on the 4-hour was an FVG. And, you know, we've talked about that. And if you don't understand, you got to go through the training. Fair value gap. Let me put that in purple. Now, Coach, this is fixing the trading thing, right? So, I mean, it's okay if we talk about trading, right?
Yes,
I mean, we can philosophize everything,
sir.
but, man, I don't know about you. I want to learn how do I become a better trader.
Absolutely. And I just want to point out again, if you look at what you did on the previous slide, you drew out those zones we need to pay attention to, and literally price gravitated towards those zones. We could also trade up towards them. You know, you could also trade away from them, but also towards those areas where there was this push and pull between supply and demand.
Absolutely. So, Coach, from what I'm seeing, man, there's a lot of movement in this one candle. Everybody see this? There's a lot of movement. If we look at the time of this actually happened, saying 1900 hours, so that's 7 p.m. That happened during the Australian and Japanese session. Okay. And if you look at this created a big fair value gap, 1, 2, 3 right here. Here's why it's important for you to understand this. You need to look at places that the market is going to be attracted to going. Does that make sense? And as you're looking at these places, it's going to help you at least just have a phase of what you're paying attention to. So here's all the thing that I'm doing. I'm identifying the 50% mark, which is right around here, and I'm looking for entry there. So let me just take some of this stuff out. You guys see that? So normally when there's a gap full or the market moves, normally it'll return right around the 50% mark. And so if I get 50% mark, now we're talking about a good point of entry to get in if I decide that this is going to meet my criteria. You guys see it? So 4-hour time frame. Let's just play it out from the 4-hour. And again, remember, these candles are taking time to get there, so we don't want to just rush it, but let's just play it out so we can see what an entry would be like. And notice what I'm doing. I'm sharpening my sword. Does that make sense? Shout out to Ninja Nate OS as well, man. Morning to you as well. We're teaching people, fixing the trading thing, right? We're sharpening our gift. We're not just waiting, and we're seeing how this stuff plays out. Now, I'm going to speed it up for you guys because I don't want us watching some wet paint dry, okay? So we'll speed this up, and we're going to see what's happening with that candle. And it may not return on that one. But we want to get in areas that make the most sense. Are you guys tracking? Everybody see it? Do we see it?
Once again, and I feel like a broken record here, Coach, but look at what you did. You drew on an area and it became a magnet for price. It pulled it towards that point. And this is lost on such a lot of people. Everybody is looking at only one side of the market, but we can trade both. We can trade both sides. We can trade the drop towards something and the rise away from something.
Come on now. I like that. And, you're giving advanced strategies as well, because you could wait, or you could say, man, there's a gap. Let me trade the gaps. Now, check this out. As I'm looking at it, I'm also noticing that we still have a little bit more gap area here. So I want to see maybe it drops down a little bit lower, and perhaps a better entry might be right around here, right around this area. Perhaps. I don't know yet. So let's just play it out. And again, what am I doing? I'm practicing to see what is going to be my edge. Does everybody understand this? What you're also doing is activating your RAS system, reticular activating system, almost like you buy a F-150 and you see F-150s everywhere. You buy a Tesla and now you're part of the Tesla family. You bought that crazy looking truck that people are driving and you just see the truck everywhere, which you can't hide if you wanted to, right? But what starts to happen as you practice, your mind is used to seeing patterns. So let's play this out, and based on price action, we're going to see when we're going to jump into the market. Does that make sense? Look at that, folks. It came down here. So let's just say we went for a buy. Why am I saying this? To me, it is filled in the gap. It's kind of went down, wick to the top. We have a little bit to the upside. So if I decide to take this trade, just watch this. Let's just say if I went for a buy. Okay. Remember, I'm risking 4,500, 1%. And I'm wanting to see, can we go something to the top? So does everybody see what's going on? Coach, can I take my 39.50 and go home?
I think you should. I think that is clean, easy money. Look at that, Coach. Almost no drawdown on that execution.
My Lord. Man, and you know what? I want to take all my money. Last time we didn't take 100%. I want to get all my money. Everything.
Take the bag.
Take the bag. Now watch this. I don't want to chase this candle, even though I'm tempted. I want to get a pullback. It might not pull back, but I don't want to risk it. Look at that. You guys see it. So here's another thing that messes people up, right? Write this down, please. Close your computer. Close the app.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away. Because if you're not willing to walk away, watch this. You won't develop consistency. Nope. You've got to create a routine of walking away. I've made the money. Now it's time to go home. Does that make sense? But if I'm sticking at the computer, come on, folks, I'm trying to speak to you guys today. You don't have unlimited willpower. The charts will talk to you and say, hey, Jack one, another one, Carla, another trade.
Oh, and the charts speak. So, Coach, I don't know why you say the charts are whispering. The charts, they shout at me.
Terry. Yeah, they screaming at you, man. They screaming at you. Folks, we don't have unlimited willpower. That's why, please listen to me. And I had this talk with my son. He was having ups and downs, very frustrated. And I said, buddy, what are you trading for? Now, I felt like this was a good dad movement. I think this could have made the movies, right? So I live not too far from a place called The Star in Dallas, Frisco area. And it's beautiful, man. This is almost like $1 billion that was spent on this area by Jerry Jones. So At any given time, you can go to the Cowboys practice facility. There's a lawn in the front, man, it's turf. The kids can throw the ball around, kick the ball. It is beautiful. Right around there, high-end restaurants, just places to hang, and it's nice. And so we went at nighttime, and as I'm driving around, I showed him a Rolls Royce. I showed him some Bentleys, and I said, do you know, for some people, this is what life is about? He said, what you talking about, Pops? They're living just so they can get these exotic cars just to showcase, look what I have. And so we drove around 2 blocks, and then I made a left. And so there was this high-end apartment. And I said, look at that apartment and look how far that apartment is from where we just left. I said, that's 2 blocks. Do not tell me that your life is just about 2 blocks. You mean to tell me it's just about making money so I can live in that high-rise apartment building, right? Looking over the city to get the valet to bring my car to go 2 blocks to say, look at me, look what I did. Now, listen, I'm not trying to knock anybody that wants to have nice things, but let's not allow those things to have you. If you're just trading for things, you're not trading high enough. You need to be trading for impact. You need to be asking yourself, Lord, listen, you know I got a family. You know I have this going on. Lord, thank you for looking out for me, but who can I go serve? Come on, Coach. Well, you've given me more than enough. Watch this, folks, because this is you being generous, right? The Bible says that we're supposed to be generous at all times. Guess what? That only happens if you have more than enough. So if I have more than enough, I can't sit on my money. I need to see how can I be a resource to be a blessing to other people. And so watch where I'm going with this one. Being a blessing to other people might not necessarily be that you're just handing out money. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe you need to create a business that serves a great need. Maybe you need to do like me and Coach are doing and bringing the kingdom into trading and finance. That's a need. You need to ask yourself and pray to the Most High, Jesus, where do you want me to serve at? And how can I get activated to go where you're calling me to serve? Coach, I'll pass the mic. I know I'm flowing, man. I know you can flow better than I can flow. Just talk to him, man. What do you think about yourself?
Coach, absolutely not. Let's not start lying on the stream. You know, let's keep it let's keep it truthful. But no, absolutely not. Like we need to answer the question of what need are we fulfilling? And how is what we are doing getting us closer to fulfilling that need? Right. And I was thinking about this concept earlier, and I want to piggyback off what you're saying, but I was thinking about my grandfather always used to speak about you got to spend quality time on a thing that's meaningful. And I thought about it because we're talking about 2-hour trading days, we're talking about 2-hour work days. And to most people, that is like a culture shock because you're saying to yourself, but I'm used to working 8-hour, 9-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour days. So you telling me that I can put 2 hours to something? Are you telling me I can put 4 hours to something and I can make a success of it? Absolutely. But here's the key differentiating factor is that you have to determine the quality that exists inside of that time. What are you saying, Coach? What am I saying? Quality that exists inside of that time. For instance, if I'm spending 2 hours on something that brings me, that is aimless, let's say Netflix or something like that, because that's big with people now, right? What is that adding to me versus if I'm spending time on, let's say, back testing? Now, you might be saying, but I've given a lot of time to back testing. Hear me out where I'm going with this. You might be even giving time, good time, and to the right things, but is it quality? So how do you determine quality? It's blueprints. A blueprint determines the quality of the time that you are spending. What do I mean by that? You need to find out what is working for someone else and then apply that to your time. And now you've got a blueprint in your time, and that makes it quality time. Man, I've been thinking about, my son is young, and I think about the reason we do what we do, Coach, is so that we can spend time with our families, we can spend time with our friends, we can spend time doing things that are meaningful, and above all else, we can minister. Our channels is about ministering to people, helping people, right? And the reason we can do that is we found the blueprints that actually make sense and develops over time to give us even more and more free time. And that's why we got to get people into thinking about quality over quantity. And that comes down to what blueprint are you following? That's why we developed mindset, multiplication, and management. That's why those three pillars has been something that has helped us change lives. But also, let's be honest, you're on this stream, you're part of this community because you want your life changed. So this is the blueprint to get your life changed. Sorry, Coach, I'm going deep there, but you threw the ball my way, and I thought, you know what?
I had
I'm not going to pass to anybody. I've been watching football recently, and I know there's a couple of guys on those teams that decide, you know what? I ain't going to throw anything. I'm going to go and bob and weave between everyone and make sure I get that touchdown. So
Come
I'm
on, man.
touchdowning for my own life, man.
You know what, brother? I want to segue it a little bit as well. If you guys have been tracking with us, and we have just faithful students that have been with us, you've
Yes.
heard us talk about the 2-hour workday. You've heard us talk about Kingdom Digital Nomads. And I just kind of wanted to expand on what that is. A lot of people that we've found out in these situations, and this is just from helping thousands of students and just even with our personal students in the hundreds. What is the biggest challenge for a lot of students? And the answer is this, man, is I need more money. Let's put a money sign if that's you. And I'm not saying that you're saying that you're poor and you're not, you can't put bread to your mouth, because if that's the case, you should not be trading. This is a good plan B. But would we all agree we feel like we need more resources? Is that fair? We need more resources. And so if you feel like you need more resources and you take that mindset in your trading, what starts to happen is that gets activated, and it gets activated because you're trading out of lack versus surplus. Does that make sense? Can I give you a secret? The most successful traders have surplus. It is either their own cash or they've leveraged multiple prop firm accounts. And so they found a way that I can make a smaller amount, but it can be multiplied over 5 accounts, 10 accounts, 20 accounts, right? Just imagine if you had 20 accounts, right? And you made $500, which a lot of us have done with our eyes closed. But 5 times 20 is 10 grand. Whoa. That's a doggone good trading day, isn't it? So one thing that we have to work on is leverage. Just type that down, please. Leverage, leverage, leverage. Here's another leverage that we want to share with you guys. And I'm just going to pull this up, and I just want to show why this is important and helping people at the same time. One thing that you have to understand is that anytime we do something, anytime, we have to vet it to see what that looks like. So some of you guys have submitted your email and you've heard us talk about this. And here's what's powerful. We co-partnered with a company that is blowing this stuff out the water. And I'm talking about digital marketing. Now, you might be saying, trading, digital marketing, coach, I don't see the marriage. Guess what we do? 97% of you guys have never met us in real life. You met us online. Check. Proves the point. Because we've spent time, we've earned your respect and you've earned our love and care as well. A lot of people have been drawn to the group. They've invested in the group, right? And so they're like, listen, coach, I love this, man. I love the idea of doing something online. Does everybody make sense on this? We got Trill Watkins, man, somebody that's doing what we're doing over here, right? And so here's my thing about this place. We need to have tent making skills for the time that we're in. Please listen. I'm about to give you guys some word. Is this okay? Can I teach just a little bit? I'm gonna let Pastor Chadwin come up next, but I just want to teach a little bit. Go to first book of the Bible, Genesis, and towards right around the 40th chapter, we hear about Joseph. And so Joseph was called to be the prince, but he was called at a time amongst his brothers where he had a vision that one day his older brothers would then go before him. And so there was a journey that this man went on. It was jealousy from his brothers. It was being sold into slavery. It was being pushed into Egypt. And for a long period of his life, it looked like the dream didn't match up with the situation. Woo, you might want to write that down, please. Sometimes it looks like the dream doesn't match with the situation. You're in a situation, but it's not matching up. You got a prophetic word, but it just doesn't seem like it's happening. You're waiting for breakthroughs. It's just not happening yet. And if you've been like me, if I can be transparent, I've asked these words. Maybe you haven't. God, where are you? Woo! Where are you, Lord? Like I just thought, because you showed me that it was going to be a lot easier. Let me keep on teaching. So one thing that Joseph was very good, and it shows us in the word, is that whatever his position was, he was always excellent and outstanding. Every single time. When he was in jail, he got promoted. When he was in the house, he got promoted. And it got to be to the place that his character maintained him. And so, long story short, we see in the story that the king has a dream, and they knew that Joseph could decipher these dreams. And so watch this. He wasn't just spiritual, but he also had the gifts of administration. Watch where I'm going, folks. So he was able to speak to the Pharaoh and break down the dream, and then he gave a solution. Write this down, please. I have a solution. When people come around me, they can get the solution. A lot of us have to start thinking different. We have to think kingdom. And kingdom is, I'm not just going to be praying for myself. I'm going to be praying that I could be the answer to other people's prayers. Woo! In my Ric Flair voice. Come on, somebody. I know I'm aging myself. Ric Flair. Woo! So if I can be the answer to someone's prayers, God can expand my territory because my appetite is greater than myself. Come on, that's a principle. Watch this, folks. So he gives and he tells him about the dream. And then just to sum it up, 7 years of plenty, king, 7 years of famine. What does he start to do? He starts to do taxes and he starts to put grain and stuff away. And he put so much away that they couldn't even track it anymore. It was just in overflow. Watch this. The story then says that his brothers come, his people comes because famine was all over the land. It was everywhere. Now watch what happened at the same time. Just imagine your brothers mess you up or your sisters mess you up. You know how much you would have to pray at your heart, not to say you SO such and such, look what you did to me. You know what he said, and he prayed and he wept? He said it was good. That you might have meant something, but God used this to get me here to save our people. I'm trying to bless someone today. Now let me fast forward. Later in the story, we're told that it was set aside as a place of Goshen, protection. And he told his brothers that when you're asked, let them know that you're a former. You guys type that in the chat, please. I'm a former. Because he knew that being a former, you had access to the best land. He knew that being a former, that's where the wealth was. And it also goes to show that other places of the land were affected, but Goshen was protected. Coach, what are you saying? Let me just bring it full circle back for you guys. We're wanting to create Goshen where you have so many streams of income that when life happens or if something happens next year, we don't know the times. But because we don't know the times, God also says that he does nothing without letting his prophets know. Watch where I'm going with this one. And so prophetically, we're listening, we're having an ear. Can I be very real with you guys? I wish I can say that we're just going into beautiful times. Nope, this is not a Joel Osteen message. Nope. From what I've heard, 2025, it might be turbulent times. We're seeing inflation. We're seeing that there was an assassination attempt. We're seeing the divide that's going in our country. And guess what? We don't have to operate in fear. We have to operate in faith and start getting ourselves ready for what could happen. Before I went to Cape Town, we got a prophetic word. Stretch your nets. Rearrange some things. Cast the nets wider. Does that make sense? So I'm sharing this with you because we have found a proven system where you can have passive and also active income. You guys write this stuff down and I'll keep it moving for the sake of time. What is active income? Day trading. Unless you close your eyes and click buy or sell, you actively have to look at the charts to see the direction of where the market is going. Just give me thumbs up, coach, if that's making some sense, right? So I actively need to be engaged. And here's the beautiful thing. We just showed you live where we found some money within a couple of minutes. Here's where people blow the gasket. They're over trading. They're trading too long. Listen, you're not making $1 million in one day. Stop it. Be grateful enough to make a day's wage and go on to the next day. Let's put a 7 if that's making some sense. Part 2. You're already online. You're already watching YouTube and Reels and Facebook. For myself, I just started doing TikTok. If you would have spoke to me the first week in June, I would have said TikTok is for kids. Listen, folks, I started doing TikTok, and the investment that we had, I want to say, coach, and correct me on this if I'm wrong, we're up about 700 to 800% in the first 30 days.
Not wrong at all, coach. Not wrong. Spot on.
Doing exactly what we've been doing. And guess what, everybody? We're not just keeping this to ourselves. We're sharing it with you guys. So let me go this quickly, and then I'll pass it back to Coach. We're part of a strategic partnership. And in this partnership, this lady's training is nothing but phenomenal. In the last 90 days, they have done over 13 million in sales on this particular product. And they've had multiple people that are six-figure earners and some people seven figures as well, doing exactly what this blueprint is showing. And so we talked about this last week where it said by 2030, the digital marketing, which you're getting showcased right now, is going to be a $1.5 trillion industry. Now, folks, I need you guys to do a favor, and I need you to put your fingers just like that. Can you see it? And in Spanish, there's a word called un poquito, a little bit. You just need to get a grain of that 1.5 trillion, and this will change your life. Let me just shift it a little bit and change it a different way. You guys ready? Please track with me. Jill, imagine I came to you, right? And we're in the Blockbuster era. And I said, listen, I know everybody's coming to Blockbuster and we're renting these VCR tapes, but there's this thing called Netflix. And it's going to get to the point that people are going to do this from their homes. Are you willing to see the trend and jump on? Watch this. There's this concept called Amazon, right? It's just doing books right now. But what if I told you that there's going to be something called Amazon Prime, and people will order off of Amazon Prime quicker than sometimes going to the mall? And what they're going to specialize in is you ordering, and sometimes in some cases, getting it exactly the same day. What if I told you there's this outlet called YouTube where it's not just cat videos, but people will start to create their own broadcasting stations, and there's people that will be getting paid millions, and it will spread across the board because of what's going on. Just imagine if I had that talk with you. Now, let me just ask, knowing what you know now, because they say hindsight is 20/20, would you have invested in that knowing what you know now? And I'm going to go ahead and help you guys out with that answer. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me showcase this to you. What we have, and I'm going to share the link, is a 3-step simple process. Number one, get started. What does getting started mean? You put your email in, you hit submit. There's going to be a video from our strategic partner. Her name is Michelle, and she's going to lay out exactly what the steps look like. Did you hear what I just said? I'm talking about from A to B to C to D to E to F. Listen, the way she teaches, I wish I had that patience. I literally was setting up my website and I started and stopped, and she walked me through from A to Z. Let me go ahead and say this before I finished. No monthly fees are attached to this. Automation is already in place. You literally are copying and pasting everything that you're being told. Is that making sense? Roger's saying, yes, yes, yes. We're going to put Roger up on the screen over here. Who doesn't like it? Let me just do it a different way, right? You're thinking of starting a coffee company, and Starbucks says, listen, I don't need you to be thinking about that. Just do what we tell you to do. Our system works. Let's keep on going. You're going to learn how to launch a daily business, and then step 3 is start earning a passive income. Let me share this with you. I have to do it quickly because I don't want to broadcast anybody's emails. But can I just be real with you guys? Because you know my heart, right? I don't believe in faking. I like to be real. Now, please listen to me. We hit the 30-day mark on the 22nd. It took us about 3 days to set up the website. Raise of hands if you would like to see this. 77 leads, 5,400 made. 100% of that came to our account. Listen, folks, and we're still learning. I had to do it quick because I can't share people's email on a public thing. That's just out of respect. The way that we look at it is, Do you know how many people wish they could get an additional $2,000 a month? $3,500? The lady that put us in it, and I know her, she's done some work from us. She's already crossed the 50,000 plus amount in less than 60 something days. Now, the difference is she doesn't have an online product like we do because we do day trading. So our bread and butter is what we're doing right now. But I don't know about you guys, and somebody talk to me, please. You going to turn down 5,400? If I showed you just how to get an additional 1,800, would that not help? Let's keep it going. So it talks about what's going on, and you guys know our story, but we're here to help people generate a full-time income, work from anywhere, freedom, work less, travel the world. Guess what? We're already doing that with trading. It made sense for us to co-partner and do this again with this. And I've actually put the link in the chart or the comment section. Make sure you go it. Now, don't be in shock. You're going to hit your email. The next video is not going to be me speaking or Coach Chadwin. It's going to be Michelle, our mentor. But she's nothing short of phenomenal. When we started watching her in February, her group was at 11,000, and we asked the question, what is she doing? Guess what? They just crossed over 31,000 people, folks. Yeah. The proof is in the pudding. And what I like about this is it is literally a push-and-play system, simply meaning that if people co-partner with us because they respect what we stand for, we're proven. We don't even have to do the teaching. Michelle has a whole system. So we want to be here as a liaisons to answer the small questions, but they literally have everything from A to Z, 1 through 3, and then live sessions that happen a couple of times during the week. Let's keep on going. And Coach Chadwin, I love that picture of us, man. That was a beautiful spot in Hermanus, man. So how does it work? How does it work? A step-by-step program. Learn how to make $900 passively daily by following a 2-hour workday. Put a 7 if that started to make some sense to you guys. Yep. How does it work? Introducing the digital growth community. We're going to teach you the technique, and it goes exactly what you need to see. Now, here's what I like. They always update with live testimonials. This stuff is live in the back office. And what I like about this back office, it shows you exactly what you get access to. You get access to the program. So you guys make sure to check this out. Now, I want to share one last thing, and I'll go to Coach Chadwin. I'm going to go to the school platform because some people are still seeing what's going on, and you still don't believe me. So guess what? I want to be so much of an open book to you guys. I'm going to show you. You guys see this? This is the community. Do you see the number? 380 people are online. Did you hear what I just said? Imagine going to a classroom and look at the back office, getting started right. What do I need to do? And it walks you step by step by step. It gets better. 90-day success print run. That's what we're in right now. There's a video every day of her laying out the content, what needs to happen, what you need to do. And she's showing you a process within 90 days to get 30,000 in your bank account. Put a 7 in the chat if you guys are interested in that, because I don't even have to sell you. The proof is in the pudding. There's no need to go back and forth. And here's what I like about this system. With the automation in place, nobody tells us no. Watch where I'm going with this one. You either say, stop sending me emails, which is done automatically, or you just follow the link and you sign up. At best, we've talked to some people on the phone, and they just wanted to say, okay, coach, like, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on. I just want to check with you. But when you have integrity in business, like a lot of people on this call, and I know you do because you are part of the Kingdom Day Traders community, people know that you stand for something. And because you stand for something, watch this, Trill, you don't have to go back and forth because people know what you stand for. Now, let me share this with you for the sake of time, Coach, and I just definitely want to be respectful of everybody's time. I'm going to go to the win section, and we're going to see what's came in since we've been on. Look, folks, hit 15,000. This came from Allison Reynolds 4 hours ago. This is definitely a slower month, but I finally just hit 15,000. My goal was 20,000 this month. I'm not sure I would get there, but I'm trying. I'm going to go live on Facebook and TikTok to do a personal Zoom call again, but will definitely help out last month. Expect abundance. And look what people are saying. You're unstoppable. Congratulations. All of this different stuff. This is live, folks. I love this stuff. Look at this one. Accountability coach. Hey, future millionaires, I have set up my sales funnel, capture pages, and email automation. Now tapping into social media. Look at this, folks. They got people killing this stuff. 755 leads in my first 26 days. Please listen to the rule of thumb on this one. What she's saying in her system is per 20 leads, you should average one sale. So if you do 20 divided by 75 or 755, let me just do the math on this one, right? And guys, I'm taking time to share this because, listen, it's been on our heart to be on assignment. Based on what she's saying, she should get 37 sales at $900, which is a whopping $33,975. And this is just done in 2 hours.
In 26 days. And in 26 days. 2 hours, 26 days, coach.
Wow. Let me just show a few more, brother. Alan, 900 after TikTok Live. Look at that. 8,000 plus just 2 weeks. IG followers. I gained 7 new followers. So some of the wins are I'm winning because I started. Some of the wins are I've gotten some sales in. Here's another thing that I like. And just write this down, please. 100% commission. 100%. When I heard that, I say, hold on a second, man. How are they making money? Let me just ask, how many of you guys pay a monthly subscription to be on Facebook? How many of you guys pay a monthly subscription to be on TikTok? How many of you guys pay a monthly subscription to be on YouTube? I already know the answer already, unless you're doing like me. I pay for the Prime stuff, right? I hate having all the commercials. My point is money is being made off of technology because so many people are getting on the platform. So, for instance, with this group, and then I'll be done and I'll pass it to Coach. This becomes a sellable asset because this group has 31,003 people, which means that is a collective audience at one place at one time. Just put a 7 if you guys are tracking what I'm saying. So the way that we have this set up is we have something called a Stripe account. And I'm just being all the way real with you guys because I want you to get it. And when a person pays, it goes directly to us. But the fulfillment takes you to this group where you have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and share this link again. Please do me a favor. Don't overthink this stuff. We've got a couple of people that have signed up. We're actually building out a group. So I just wanted to share this if you move forward. And we want to serve as additional support to help people that are looking to get into this industry. Does that make sense? So that means you can come to us and at least we can point out what videos to watch. And if there's a webinar that's coming up and many different things. But our heart was, and we prayed about this, and the word that we got was cast our nets wide. We didn't want to limit people just to trading. We wanted to show, hey, don't just come on here and trade, but get an additional business. Invest it. So do me a favor, go through the link. If you guys want to move forward, it's just $900. That's paid one time. Everybody put up your finger. One time. You pay a $29.95 website fee one time, and then that's done. Did you hear what I just said? Go through the material. It's going to ask 100% of your questions. We know we'll have a couple of people that will join from this. Just reach out after or send a support email to Kingdom Day Traders and say, Coach, we're in. Because it's time to get the business. Does that make sense? And so we just want to share with you guys of what we're doing. But here's what I'm more so concerned about. I want to get Kingdom people activated. I want to get people free. I want to take care of those monthly bills immediately so your trading can go to the next level and you're not limited to just depending on trading. And the reason I say that is because we've been doing this long enough that we understand there's a learning curve and some of us have to get out of our head. But imagine how good your trading would be, Miss Carla, if you already had made 900 already. Roger, you already made the money. Or you have the money already and the additional money, you're using that for ministry. So, Coach, I'll pass it to you. I know I kind of went on a little bit long, but I just felt it in my spirit that we got to be clear with people and they know exactly where we stand.
No, Coach, I think you hit the nail on the head on so many nails and so many heads. That was well done and well said. I think when we started out in this business of trading and even just reaching and helping people, I think it was even before I was involved. When you guys started out, it always started out with let's help God's kingdom. Let's help God's people. And
Yeah.
we've now realized that the best way to do that is not just to help them, but also to empower them
Yes.
so that they can go ahead and go and help other people. So that's why we partnered with programs such as this, which is it's really about leveraging as much as possible. I don't know about you, but if we look around right now, the world is polarized. Everybody's an enemy of one another, and this is because the wrong people have the media, the wrong
Mm.
people have all the platforms. If this was in the hands of kingdom people, we'd be in a different space right now. So what we're
Wow.
trying to do is put the things back, all those important things back into the hands. I've just seen, I don't know how people are going to take this on the stream, but I just saw something today that angered me. I saw that California just passed a law. Cali just passed a law that said the teachers are no longer allowed to tell parents if their kids want to be called by a different pronoun.
Mm.
And I'm asking this question: if this is where we are at now, where will we be a year, 2 years, 3 years from now? Because what you tolerate today, you accept tomorrow.
Mm.
And so it's so important that we put things back into the hands of kingdom people. And that's what we're trying to build and create a kingdom success path, but also while we are trying to make kingdompreneurs. And what I like about this program, it's the last thing I will say, Coach, is the thing I like about this program is this program doesn't only help you make the money in that program space, but it gives you a skill that you can transport into other spaces, other passions. Maybe some of you are involved at church or involved in a community project or something like that. You can take the skill that you learned here, and it's a built for you program, and you can take that and put it into everything else and see success in that area as well. And that's why this is such a powerful industry as a whole. But that's all I wanted to say. I know we've been going for an hour. I just wanted to make sure that people got as much value out of the stream today from us being on here today. Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely. So, folks, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But do me a favor. I want you guys to be blessed on purpose. Please listen to what we shared. We'll be talking about this because here's the thing about it. When you've got great news and you see that it can help somebody, you don't keep it to yourself. It would be selfish if you have a means to truly help somebody and you don't share it. And another thing I want to say is some of the people listening, God wants to use your voice, but you got to grow. Maybe you're scared to get behind the camera. Maybe you're scared to be out there. But guess what? If you don't have influence, people are not listening. And this influence doesn't have to be with your face in a camera like this, but it can be faceless. It can be posed. We have to start to occupy and take territory. But if we're not willing to take territory, the enemy will take territory. Laws like that can get passed because we don't have people in the office that can say, absolutely not. You have lost your rabbit mind. But there's a lot of believers that say, oh, I just don't do politics. I'm just going to pray in my closet. Pray in your closet and get involved. Does that make sense? We need to have godly teachers, godly politicians, godly business owners, godly people day to day. It's not saying that you're walking around with a cross on your t-shirt and you're just quoting scriptures all day long. Some of the greatest fruit is the fruit of your life. But watch this. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Just imagine this. If I wasn't willing to get on this camera, I would have never met you guys. I would have never met Coach Chadwin. This started because God put hope in my heart. And I heard this definition the other day, helping one person every day. Woo! That's hope, folks. So if I can help your family and I can help you get activated, I change your life. Let me just put this out to you as well. You do know somebody shared the message with Billy Graham in a small church, and they spoke to Billy William, and he caught on fire. You let me know another evangelist that has touched that many people besides Christ. Folks, I was watching videos. He would go to Yankee Stadium calling people to repent, different people around the world. You never know the power of influencing one person. Some of you think that's too small. Let me just tell you something. We don't have a small God. We have a big God. So I want to activate you guys today. And the activation is this. Get off your John Hine parts and stand, and let's get in this kingdom army. Let's sharpen your sword. Let's work your gift. Let's stop making excuses about what's not working and trusting God that he's going to come through. And here's the scripture to stand on. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Your problems are part of the all, but put him first. Go about his business and he'll take care of yours. With that being said, M3, mindset, multiplication, and management. I'll see you guys on the other side. Cheers and God bless. Thank you.